Hi everyone, this is the Final Bosman. It is that time of the month again. I want to talk about Nintendo. Let's get started. Welcome to the show. I am Kyle Bosman, of course. Last week, Nintendo... I think someone just brushed by my leg. Sorry. Last week, Nintendo did something crazy. And I know what you're saying. You're like, oh, what else is new? Well, actually, a lot. And so today's segment is called Firstly, But and So. Nintendo is changing. Firstly, on July 18th, 2013, Nintendo finally released Earthbound on the Virtual Console. That is a pretty big deal. Earthbound is a game that was released in 1995, which is close to the end of the Super Nintendo's life cycle, so it was kind of hard for it to get a lot of traction. It wasn't an immensely popular game, but it is a cult classic. It didn't sell well, but people love it. This is the perfect type of game to become a Virtual Console release. So when the Wii came out in 2006, it was kind of assumed Earthbound, right? Just no, that never happened. In 2008, apparently Nintendo did announce somehow, or suggest anyway, that it's coming out, and even went so far as to rate it by the ESRB. Rated T for teen. And then just still nothing, no Earthbound. Then flash forward 5 years later into January 2013. In a Japanese Nintendo Direct, Nintendo announced, as part of the big 30-year celebration for Nintendo, you'll be able to download Earthbound on the Virtual Console for 30 cents. What? What about us? We'll give you $30 for that game. I don't know. You don't care about that game. It didn't sell well over there. And that was the situation. A few months later in April, though, Nintendo did announce in a Nintendo Direct in the US and Europe, hey, we've heard your cries. Earthbound will be coming, finally, to North America and Europe for the first time ever this year. And we think, what do you mean, finally? You think this is our fault? No, this is all on you. It's finally because of you. And the reason cited for the change of heart was that Nintendo saw all of the comments on the Japanese page of Miiverse. I should explain Miiverse, I guess, to people who don't know. Miiverse is Nintendo's social network, basically. It's their sort of message board. And there are pages for individual games. And so English speakers snuck in to the Japanese page for Earthbound, or Mother 2 there, and said, hey, release this in the US. And Nintendo listened to that. That was it. After all these years, all it took was Miiverse. All it took was just a bunch of weird doodles on a message board for Nintendo to listen. Apparently that's how you have to communicate with this company. It's hard to complain. The good news, the story at the end of the day, is that Earthbound has been re-released on the Virtual Console, and that should be a big deal. But Nintendo didn't care to make it a big deal. So what happened was just last week, just a regular old Thursday in the morning, there was a Nintendo Direct, and within this Nintendo Direct, the announcement, Earthbound's available today, you should go download that. This announcement that was 7 years in the making. This announcement that we expected since Nintendo Revolution was a thing. It just kind of came. Here it is. Wait, what do you mean? What? Hold on, this is Earthbound. This is basically a tent pole of the Virtual Console. We expected this in fall or maybe winter. It's here right now, suddenly? Yeah, here you go download it. Tell your friends. And it's just such a strange thing. Nintendo's been doing this a lot lately, actually. The week before that, the 3DS gained new Street Pass games. There was no trailers for this or any prior hints that they were coming. And then they were in Japan and then Europe and then the US just sprouted out one day. And the way that Nintendo tells you about these games is a little rabbit appears in your little Mii Plaza. And it says, hi, can I talk to you about these new games that we got? And you said, all right, sure, what do you got? And then he brings out an iPad and he kind of swipes through screenshots. And then that rabbit tells you how much the games are gonna cost. And basically that rabbit is doing Kotaku's job. It's weird, it's wild and crazy. And then the Nintendo Direct before that in Japan announces a new Chibi Robo game for 3DS, an augmented reality game in the Chibi Robo franchise. Just out of nowhere. Announced and you can download this today. You can go download it. It released in the same exact day. Here's a new game in this abandoned, beloved franchise. Here you go. Go ahead and download it. Hey, are you gonna release that in the US? Come on, you dummy. Look at this. Look at those slippers. You have those in the US? I don't think so. Get out of here. You wish. Go play Candy Crush. It's a strange time. It's weird to see Nintendo, who normally will raise a game above its head proudly like a little baby Simba on top of Pride Rock. Here you go. It's basically a mobile model of delivery. The announcement and then just release is sort of like hey, Temple Run 2 is out today, go download it, without any trailer ahead of time. Killing out this, basically just destroying the hype cycle that we're used to in video games. And who's to say don't do it? Who's to say, hey, it's not working? Because it is working. And through Twitter and Facebook and Miiverse and Vine and Instagram and Brizzly Bear and PoofPod and JollyStream and Wooshly and Nyanya and Slurk and MySpace, we're all just kind of doing the advertising for these companies and their products. And the weird thing is we're happy to do it because we like them. A game like Animal Crossing did enormously well in Japan, and then has so far done very well in the US and the UK as well, with very limited advertising. Nintendo didn't have to buy an ad in the NBA playoffs to accomplish this. They didn't have to give IGN an exclusive review of Animal Crossing. It just kind of happened. They let the games speak for themselves now in an interesting way, in that they're actually letting us speak for the games. We are the advertisers now. And I realize that not every game can do that, because frankly, not every game is as good as Animal Crossing or Luigi's Mansion or Fire Emblem. But also, like The Last of Us. The Last of Us, I think, did have an advertising budget, but I also feel benefited heavily from our strange social sphere, because that's a game that nobody knew about before. It's not an established franchise, and it actually has a vibe very unlike most other video games. Point is, the world is changing, and I think that Nintendo is secretly, sneakily changing with it faster than any of us think they are. So, the Wii U is next gen. So next gen is a dumb phrase tossed around a lot in video games media, kind of just to mean the new group of consoles. Though it also is used a lot as a sort of boundary to classify a game as like good looking or not good looking. Oh dude, look at that rain, that's so next gen. Dude, tell me the time that you first experienced the feeling that you felt this is next gen. Look at that elf's face, that's so last gen. I can't take that. I can't take that definition. Next gen just means good graphics. And in that sort of definition, Wii U totally falls out of there. It just doesn't have the hardware to do that. And just the Wii U isn't next gen. Look at those graphics. Look at that hardware. It's last gen. So let me just set this straight for you. If you believe that the Wii U is last gen, you are just wrong. You are a wrong person. A video games generation is defined not by its processing power, but the time that it was released. That is how the definition of a generation works. Generation exists to group things or people and separate them on a timeline. That is a generation. And so the Wii U was released around a year to its most direct competitors, and it is thereby part of the next generation. And not just to make fun of grammar noobs, but I really do want to make a point further there, in that a generation is not simply defined by the hardware, by this box. It's defined by the world around it, everything that's happening in that era. We have a lot of influence on the way a console generation grows. If you look at our current generation, if you look at our Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and the Wii, a lot of things have changed over the course of this last generation. For the first time, people started using their consoles to watch movies and TV more than play video games. This generation, we used our hard drives to download DLC and entire games. This generation was saved by motion controls, or ruined. But the Wii was part of all of that. The Wii was part of that last generation, and that's why it is important for me that we include the Wii U in the discussion of the next generation. If the Wii U does not fit within your definition of next gen, I think you have to find a new word. Because it is. The Wii U is Nintendo's next generation console. None of us are happy about it, probably not even Nintendo at this point. but it is just something that we all have to accept and live on with. There is a big, dopey, frustrating elephant at the center of this circus, and it is not going to leave the show anytime soon. Hey, why don't you make a game like The Last of Us for once? And I don't mean like it's got zombies in it. I mean it's grounded. Like it has interesting human beings in it. I'll tell you what, I could do that, but I choose not to. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Anyway, that's the show for this week. Looking at next week, looks like we're gonna do another First 15, another mini Bosman. So that could be awful or fun, but I think they're most fun when they are awful. And later into the month, I'm gonna be at PAX Prime in Seattle. I'm gonna be part of the GT panel there and shoot a few videos, and that should be fun. So I hope to see you next month. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
See all of our shows and game reviews now on the brand new GT app on Xbox Live and the GT Originals iOS app too.
Nintendo didn't have to buy an ad during the... I'm sorry, I swear that like there's a thing brushing against my leg. Oh, you. I should have known it was you. How did you get past my traps? Listen, no, I don't even want to hear it. Okay, there's no reason for you to be in here. Get out of the new studio. I don't want you here. I didn't think about that. All right, listen. You can stay here. You can sleep in one of the bushes as long as you don't interrupt my show anymore. Nintendo didn't have to buy an ad during the NBA Finals to do that.